Move it. I had a yard water clamshell. And I just
If you
grabbed
have
it.
permission to be there, they can't do anything to you.
I was before I got there. Okay. Let's see.
We're going to call the meeting of the St. Clair Board of Commissioners to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Smasko?
Present.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Present.
Commissioner Beeden?
Present.
Commissioner Trello?
Present.
Commissioner Rushing?
Well, I'll be present also.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Here.
Commissioner Chairperson Bone?
Here. Additions, deletions, changes to the agenda, seeing none. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Support. Baldwin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed. Item 6, A and B.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve and file the minutes of the March 21st, 24 commission meeting and the April 4th, 24 committee meeting.
Support.
Discussion on any of these? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed? Item 8A through G, consent agenda.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve items 8A through 8G on the consent agenda.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion on any of these? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item 9, Commissioner Samasco.
No report.
Commissioner Baldwin.
No report tonight.
Nothing tonight.
I'm good.
I'm good tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to bring attention to the board and to the people that I've had constituents reach out to me in regards to some of the possible legislation that may be passed through in regards to homeschooling. So they asked if we would write a resolution and present a resolution in support to these families to continue practicing their homeschool practices. And I would like to bring that forth and have it on, I'd like everybody to get it, and then bring it on to the committee
month's
meeting
agenda.
next month, if I can.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You don't need a vote or second.
Do I have to make a motion for that, or?
No.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
So, speaking of homeschooling, so I talked to a gal today, Dawn Foster, she's a friend of mine. She homeschools, and she was looking for some assistance, I guess some help, because this was coming down. So I facilitated, this is probably 3 to 4 months ago, I facilitated a meeting with Andrew Beeler, Dawn, and then 2 leaders of the homeschooling group, the Christian Homeschool Educators of the Blue Water Area, Diane Ward and Jennifer Smith. They met. I was not part of the meeting, but speaking with her today, she said it was a good meeting. Both of them, learned quite a bit and so on and so forth. So,
I had a comment too, Jeff. I don't know if people knew, but we homeschooled our 5 daughters. My wife did essentially. And we looked into this 18 years ago, whatever it was, the legality of it. The school code provides for it. It's one of the options along with charter schools and everything else. And I did notice recently there's been statements made by legislators, the governor, other stakeholders, I guess, about changing this, the way homeschool is unregulated. Under state law, there's no requirement to report to any state agency, and you're entitled to do that. It's in the Michigan Constitution. It's a protected federal right. So I think that's where some of this, there's been some chatter about that on a state level, legislative level, and people are getting concerned about it. So I would agree. I think it's a significance sufficient to justify looking at a resolution. So.
Just good. My granddaughter, one granddaughter, she's going to be 11. She's in Waterford. She was in Pontiac Public Schools over there. And the schools were so bad that she is now in a semi-private school, and fantastic school. The teachers and the way the schools run, the public schools were, my daughter couldn't have my granddaughter in the public schools there.
Can I say something else
Sure.
to that? I just want to be clear that I don't have anything bad about public school, because I'm a product of a public school education, and like most people, but I think that the constitutional right for people to be able to educate their children how they see fit is what's important. So it's not about one way is better than another. I think it's just for that particular person to have the right to choose how they want to educate. So,
yeah, we'll get that resolution on the agenda for next month.
thank you.
Did have a meeting with DT Biomass, I think it's called DT Vantage now. Probably 7 or 8 of us on a Teams meeting, just as an update. They are currently evaluating, looking to take the landfill gas to a RNG facility. It's probably going to take them 2 to 3 months to run the numbers on it, if it makes sense. It is a sizable investment. It's roughly $30 million to be spent. They already know what the numbers look like on the electric side if they were to put another generator in there. So I'd imagine in the next 60 to 90 days, we're going to know more about that.
Question,
then-
Jeff?
Yes.
And that would change the facility from a methane-producing facility to a natural gas facility?
No, renewable natural gas.
Right, so no, there's not so much, like, right now, we produce methane, sell it, and that's,
Well, we produce methane. The methane then gets turned into, the generators run out of the methane gas.
I thought our engines ran on methane currently, but maybe
They run on methane, correct?
Okay.
And I'm not 100% on, so I did send out the invite to some of the commissioners if you want to go look at an RNG facility.
when is that and where is that?
I texted over to you. I'll get it to you again. I'm not sure on the date, but that is at Riverview. They had actually converted. Riverview is a large landfill down in Riverview, which they converted into an RNG facility. If you look at a lot of these other facilities today, not many of them are doing the electric generation now. They're spinning those into the renewable natural gas. Probably makes more business sense, tax credit, so on and so
I'd like to
forth
take a
over
look, I'd like to see that, I'd go with
there.
that.
Yeah, yep. So.
Jeff, because you brought up DTE, and of course, we got the petition going around, which I fully support in regards to local rule. We passed a resolution, local control anyways. For the, if you have any knowledge on it, for the leases that are going to be, that have already been accepted by numerous farmers, the infrastructure with the potential solar panels, all of that cost is just going to be, in my estimation, would be just increased prices for electricity, because any cost, DTE is going to go to the state and ask for the monies to cover any costs that are incurred trying to cover those leases and to put the infrastructure in and any maintenance cost. So if you don't know anything about it, maybe you could ask them when you see them next.
So that new Blue Water Energy Center, which produces roughly 1,200 megawatts of power, was roughly 1.1 billion. It took DTE 9 billion in renewables to produce that same amount of power. That's how big a difference there is. So
Well, that's on, if my memory's correct, is that on 30 acres?
the footprint's not. I mean, it's on the. Truthfully, it's probably about 5 acres, but it's right there in
Right.
East China.
It's on it. But you
Yeah.
take that piece, and then what you have to get a comparable of solar panels, it's going to be astronomical.
Oh, it's crazy amounts of land to try to get. Yeah, no question about it.
If you would, ask them about that, see if the cost would be, they give you that kind of information, if the cost would be recuperated in increased electrical bills.
Well, I can guarantee you that.
No, I
Yeah.
Another question, Jeff, if I could. Now, we put DT on notice under the contract provision that we had excessive gas, and they were looking at putting another gas-to-energy motor out there. Is this in relation to that, maybe, that we put them on notice and they want to change the plant a little bit, change the design, or what are they?
Yeah, I mean, they have the rights to our gas. We hit the additional levels, so they either put another electric generator in or they do something different with that gas capacity. My understanding is these RNGs from a, I guess, payment, better lack of choice of words, that's kind of the new thing where there's a bigger return than what there is in the electric.
Would it take that extra gas? Is that maybe what are they looking at that, using that extra gas then to put this other style of plant in? Is that related? or unrelated?
Yes, the additional gas, because now there's enough volume
It is
to
related,
justify. It's like anything, when you're spending $30 million to put a facility and you need to have X amount of gas production for it to pencil. Yeah, I think we're right at the point where it makes business sense for them. They have the rights to the gas, but there'll be more to come on that. Like I said, I think if you can take a tour of that, then those are the kinds of questions you'll be able to ask of those guys. I know bits and pieces about it. So. Okay, that is it for me. We're going to move on to citizens wishing to address the board. Jim Ware, Clyde Schools.
The concept of homeschooling is one that's been growing and growing and growing. And the reason behind it is because it's so successful. And public schools are very expensive. According to the National Education Association, taxpayers on average pay $16,446 per student per year. Start thinking about that in totals, and all of a sudden it's this huge money for the state, for the school systems. And when all is said and done, the return on investment has not proven to be all that wonderful. Our school systems, in comparison to school systems across the world, rate poorly. And there's about 3 million homeschoolers as of 21 and 20 to 22. And because they homeschool, the taxpayers save about $3 billion. Homeschoolers typically score 15 to 25% percentile points higher than public school students on standardized academic tests of achievement. And this info has been consistent in 2010, 2015, 2015, 17, and last year. So the concept of homeschooling is one that we should support in any way that we can. And when we do, I think we're making a big investment in our students and our society.
James Buckley. James Buckley.
Thank you. I just wanted to share my support as a father of 4 that we homeschool, that I'm in support of a resolution to continue to allow homeschoolers to have the freedom to homeschool. And it's nice to hear that our county is supportive of it, because like was said earlier, it sounds like the state is less and less in support of it. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Blaine Wilson.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board. Mr. Hepting, I wanted to bring one item to the board's attention before getting to my core module. Since the public defender's attorneys are getting new laptops that they have the option of a wired internet connection at their tables in the courtrooms, since the prosecuting attorneys have that, and also including in Marine City as well, just an FYI. Main portion of my speech I wanted to devote to conveying my disappointment in the county's Human Resources Department. Just before my November 2nd, 2023 speech to the board, I hand-delivered a letter to Ms. Hepting's attention pointing out several instances of questionable behavior by IT Director Tiffany Forner and members of her staff. Ms. Hepting, days later, emailed me stating that that letter was handed over to HR Director Diane Barber. I was surprised to find out through a FOIA request that the HR department had not performed any investigations as it related to the items in that letter. Not surprising, as Ms. Barber was more interested in investigating my use of the words black, ghetto, and ugly than the items listed in that letter. But I won't go into detail on those points. But I will mention the instance where Ms. Forner ran out of money to buy thin clients in mid-2022. She ordered network coordinator Wendell Roy and network technician Ron McKinney to swap out the newer 3040 devices in the administration office for older 3020s. Because Mr. McKinney was not familiar with Ms. Hepting, I offered to do the swap of her thin client for him. During that interaction, Ms. Hepting expressed disbelief that her device was being switched for an older one. She asked, "Why is this being done?" and also said, "I would like new thin clients bought for my entire staff." Amazingly, 1 week later, the IT department had money to buy thin clients. The newer clients taken from the administration office were returned. It should also be noted that the 3040 devices throughout the administration building, including one I pointed out in the maintenance area in the basement, were not touched. So it basically focused on the administration office. I have never witnessed a director pulling this kind of stunt on an executive. Directors and managers serve at the pleasure of the executive, not the other way around. If Ms. Forner had pulled something like that in Wayne County, Executive Warren Evans would have bounced her from her position so fast and so hard that an imprint of her butt would have been left on the sidewalk outside the Guardian building. I ask again the board order investigation of the actions of IT Director Forner, as the HR department appears to be a part of the status quo and not able to maintain professional integrity while exercising accountability of higher level staff. I would also like to note Ms. Forner has charged me for the cost of a Chromebook and a Samsung smartphone she bought through the purchasing department. The problem with that is that I was never assigned a Chromebook and I did not work.
I'm going to need you to wrap it up. You get 3 minutes. Everybody
Will do.
gets 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir. In addition, the smartphone was returned to her in mid-December and is currently in her possession. It would be greatly appreciated if the county remitted the cost of $555 owed to me. Thank you.
Melissa Gallup.
Hi, my name is Melissa Gallup. I reside in Wales Township. I'm here tonight on the behalf of homeschool parents in St. Clair County. I believe St. Clair County needs to adopt a resolution to help protect the freedom and the rights of the homeschool parents to teach their own children. Statistics prove that homeschool students have above average results on standardized tests in all areas and are typically at least one grade ahead of their peers in public schools. We need a resolution based on recently proposed legislation that would require homeschooling parents to register their children and open their homes to inspect their private property. This exerts unnecessary conditions and restrictions on parents with intimidating and disadvantages, effects. These political threats hang over the heads of homeschoolers. Parents are the first educators of their children and have the freedom and the right to choose homeschooling for their own children based on both the U.S. and the Michigan Constitution without outside involvement. However, in light of recently proposed legislation, these rights need to be further protected at the local level. Therefore, we need to have a homeschool resolution in place in St. Clair County. Thank you.
Sheila Cajon.
Good evening, Board. My name is Sheila Cahoon. I reside in Macomb County. I'm here in support of homeschooling. I am a homeschooling mom. I have been since COVID. And the legislation being brought forth right now is disturbing. It is unnecessary and is brought under false pretenses. I implore each and every board member to contact their legislative member and tell them how you do not support any type of registration for homeschoolers. And here's why. 50,000 children have been pulled from the public school system since COVID. You know why? Because the parents saw behind the curtain. They saw what was happening in the public schools, and they saw how far behind their children were. And how do I know this? Because my son was one of those children. My son was behind. Now he excels way beyond my imagination. We were at an event where we were in front of high schoolers. And the person that was leading the event was asking the children, my son being a middle schooler, they were asking the children a bunch of history questions. High schoolers couldn't even answer those history questions. You know who could? My son. Because my son is being schooled properly. He's not filled with a bunch of fluff. He's filled each and every day with information that is important to history, to science, to math, to English. And you know who gets to decide that? Me, not the government. I am his parent. And as his parent, I have the right to decide what he learns and what he doesn't. Not a government bureaucrat. They do not have the best interests of my child, at the forefront. So that's why government officials should never have the right to dictate what a parent teaches or that a parent put their child on some sort of registration to be looked at. Because those parents have the right to teach their child and protect them. And a lot of them pulled their children to protect them from what's happening in the public schools. I encourage you tonight and next week, when the resolution is brought,
Need to wrap up, please.
vote yes on the resolution, because you'll have more people here.
Terry Jones. Terry Jones.
Terry Jones from Algonac. I would like to thank the board because when we first started, I appreciated the support I was hearing for homeschoolers. My wife and I homeschooled our 5 children several years ago. They've all graduated. They're all college graduates. I have a police officer. I have a chemical engineering. I have a nurse. I have a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. And I have a medical assistant of my kids, and they all were homeschooled. My godmother, who has been fighting homeschooling support for over 50 years, she was a big supporter, and she fought this state to keep homeschooling going. In fact, we went through her program for homeschooling. And so even though my kids are, grown and everything, I still support homeschooling. I am still going to stand here and fight for the parents who want to homeschool their kids so that they have that right that I had to homeschool our kids. And I ask the board to seriously take this into consideration. And it sounds like most of you have, so that's a positive. But this is, what the state is doing right now is tyranny, because parents are the ones that have the right to make that choice, not a public school official. And the thing I'm hearing now is that the legislature is talking about possibly making homeschools a gun-free zone. I don't know if that's factual or what, but that's what I'm hearing. And that is just downright tyranny, and we cannot have that. Thank you.
Vanessa Davis.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Davis from St. Clair Township. Thank you for coming to the board again. I would like to talk to you today about the bully on the block. This last week, we had odors on 413. We can't call our township, so we have to call the fire department, and we have to call Semco to check. There's odors. Then the next day, there's odors, and then the next day. I have a cam, so I have traffic going up and down the road, and my neighbors called me and said, hey, what is going on? I'm sorry, text me. So I investigate. I'm the investigator of our block, I guess. So upon that, Enbridge had 17 vehicles. This is a dead-end road. And I would like to ask how many of you have Enbridge in your communities? Do they notify you when they have work? If they have local maintenance? Well, we're in a lawsuit. They notify me when they have water trucks coming down the road because they know I come and check. Well, guess what? I didn't get notified. My attorney blew up my phone because I was on a neighbor's yard who gave me permission to take pictures of what they were doing. And in a court of law, you know you have to have evidence, and how else do you have evidence? These companies called the police. They didn't call the local police. They didn't call the sheriff. I had the state police. Not once, but twice. Because I'm doing my due diligence. The sad thing about it was the police officers showed up, agitated, and stated that I was on Enbridge's property. You know what they had? They just took a satellite vision and said, look, you're on their property. And I said, it says right on the county website that that's not a legal document. And the homeowner came out, so now my homeowner's stressed out because they're older. And now, since the police department's involved, you've stressed them out. Guess who gets blamed? Because the government doesn't do their job, the local government. St. Clair Township, I called them and said, hey, why don't you come out and see what we're dealing with? This is after having the board meeting on Monday, where they said, once again, our attorney has advised us not to get involved with the ordinance and protect you they didn't say protect, that's my add-on, from the owners until after the lawsuit. That's not right. We're talking about these companies that have so much power that they can call somebody, show up at a site. They don't question the homeowner's legality. They just show up and say they own it, and then they bully you. So Commissioner Bohm, I would like to ask you, have you contacted St. Clair Township at all and asked them why they believe that they don't need to protect the residents? And if not, will you, and see what you guys can do, because this, I'm not alone. This happens lots of places with these companies thinking that they own everything.
Need you to wrap
Thank you.
up.
Okay, we're going to move on to unfinished business, seeing there's no oh, all right. Thank you. Got one more done.
Hello, my name's Dawn Nowicki from Kimball Township. I have a couple things. First, tonight I wanted to express my support in the homeschooling resolution. So if you guys are already looking at that, wonderful. Thank you for being ahead of the ball on that one. The second item on my list is at the landfill. We have been complaining for years, over a decade, of the backup noise that's made from the vehicles when they're working on the weekends. I know my husband has called you, Mr. Bohm, on the weekends because he feels that if they're waking him up, he's going to wake you up. So we did find OSHA-approved devices on the internet. The noise is significantly less. So, and I did send that over to Mr. Matt, and I believe he forwarded it on to you. So, okay. All right, the next item that I have on my list is the contract that was signed with CTI. I see it's an 824-page contract, but the one that came to my attention was page 102, where it states the landfill master plan, that they have rights to be involved with that. The one thing that came to my attention was the county can, let's see, a facility master plan will be developed to incorporate potential opportunities, ensure the county can make decisions which will maximize the use of the property in a financially and operationally sound manner. You know what I don't see here? That it will not bring harm to the community or the residents. The other question I have in regards to this is CTI's handling of the landfill and the situation that we're currently in. Why would we have them involved with the master plan and not the residents? So, and then the last item on my list is I sent an email to all of you earlier about the EDA funding and how the funding from St. Clair County is given directly to the EDA, and there's no accountability, no visibility of how that's spent once it goes to the EDA. I'm questioning, which really brought this to my attention, was the $500,000 that you, Mr. Bohm, gave to the EDA.
Don, do need you to clean it.
Okay.
Finish up.
And then it went to the Boardwalk Theater in St. Clair.
Need you to
That's
finish up,
pretty
Don.
suspicious in that respect. And it makes it look like your position is being
Don.
used for your own personal
Please wrap it up.
networking and personal agenda.
Okay, we're going to move on. There's no unfinished business to come before us. We're going to get into new business. If you have not been to a county commissioner meeting before, all these have been in front of us at our previous meeting. They get passed on to full board, so if it looks like we go through them fairly quick, it's because they've all been discussed before. So item A, approval of county disbursements.
This time, I move to approve county disbursements for the month of March 2024 in the amount of $27,401,833.40.
Support Baldwin?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item B.
This time, I would make a motion to adopt Resolution 24-09 approving the 2024 St. Clair County Equalization Report.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item C.
This time I'd like to make a motion to appoint Byron Hazley to the Department of Health and Human Services Board as a Board of Commissioner appointment representative for the remainder of a 3-year term expiring October 31st, 2025.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item D.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve fiscal year 2025 Michigan Indigent Commission grant application in the amount of $3,886,541.15.
Support Eden?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item E.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Burnco Inc. for day treatment night watch renovation project in the amount not to exceed $560,000 and approve the total project budget of $833,275 as outlined.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Mr. Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item F.
Mr. Chair, this time I'd like to make a motion to approve the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Equipment Rebate Voucher Application in the amount of $80,370.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item G.
This time, I would move to approve the agreement with the Friends of St. Clair River for stewardship services for the term of January 1, 24 through March 31st of 25 in the amount of $12,500 and no cents.
Support Eden?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item H.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement with Sparling Corporation for the installation of the self-service aviation fuel station in the amount not to exceed $133,600. Award the accompanying electric work to B&T Electric in the amount of $11,895, and the concrete work to General Maintenance Works in the amount of $16,988 for a project total of $162,463.
Support.
Discussion. We've been talking about this for a long time out at the airport, so, roll call.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item I.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the Commissioner District 3 ARPA project for St. Clair County Child Abuse and Neglect Council for a roof replacement in the amount of $35,960.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item J.
This time, I move to approve the Commissioner District 3 ARPA project for the purchase of a custom server and simulation software for the Port Huron Museum in the amount of $109,155.
Support Eden?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item K.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract for lawn care services for foreclosed and land bank properties with Jay's Pro Services for a term of 5/1/24 through 10/31/24 in the amount not to exceed $35,000.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowman?
Yes. Item L.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a Motion to approve the Commissioner District 7 American Rescue Plan for Clay Township for the purchase of portable stage in the amount of $125,000.
Support. Eden?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vandembosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item M.
This time I move to approve the Commissioner District 6 ARPA Act projects with the St. Clair County Road Commission for Ira and Columbus Township projects in the amount of $396,807.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item N.
This time, I would move to approve the Commission District 1 American Rescue Plan Act projects with the Road Commission in the amount of $485,015.29.
Support. Baldwin?
Discussion.
Comment?
Yes.
Just wanted to know, with the $1 million we allocated to every district, I sent it out. I had the finance director did a nice job, calculated the per population, which townships would have what amount of money based on population, and then they could spend it however they wanted, no strings attached. And a lot of them did spend the money with projects through the road commission, which will alleviate burdens on the county or burdens on the township down the road for projects they could take care of with this money. So I was very pleased to see that. I gave the 60 days to get it in with the idea if you don't get it in 60 days, it's going someplace else. They all got it in. It was all approved. I'm thankful for that. So I just want to make that little record to show that how that money got to where it got and how it got there. So,
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
yes.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item O.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Commissioner District 7 American Rescue Plan Act project for the replacement of Marine City Police Department radios in the amount of $25,000.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item P.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the Commissioner District 3 American Rescue Plan Act project for Life Skill Centers Incorporated for the purchase of ADA equipment and generators in the amount of $100,000. Support. Baldwin?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Vandembosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item Q.
This time I move to approve the proposal from Conti Corporations for a heat map wireless survey for the Intervention Center in the amount of $3,882.
Support. Baldwin?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item R.
This time I would move to approve Commission District 1 American Rescue Plan Act project with Village of K-Pac for a playscape and nature trail in the amount of $86,544.76.
Support.
Discussion.
Just make a note again, this is just another example of what a different area of my district did with the money that was allocated. It's much different, obviously, than road commission work, but they were very excited to have that ability to make those areas available for public space.
Yeah, and I guess not related to this, but Steve, myself, Dennis Delore, a couple others have a meeting tomorrow to look at a piece, I guess, up in Yale that is on the trailhead that would be a nice strategic fit for what they're talking about doing out there. So more to come on that. Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Eden,
Yes.
Commissioner Trello,
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
Yes.
Commissioner Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Bowe.
Yes. Item S.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve Commissioner District 7 American Rescue Plan Act project for Clay Township for outdoor exercise equipment in the amount of $176,273.
Support. Eden?
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item T.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Commissioner District 5 American Rescue Plan project for the city of St. Clair Police Radios in the amount of $36,060.56.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item U.
This time, I'd like to make a motion to approve Commissioner District 1 American Rescue Plan Act project for the Village of Emmett for the purchase of a generator for their sewer pump station in the amount of $11,259. That's not 11 million, right? That's $11,259.98. There's a comma there. I think it's supposed to be a period. $11,259.98.
Support if it's 11.
1,000, right?
Discussion.
Just another point, if I could make again with Emmett, this is just another example of an area where they use some of these funds for that purpose. And people got all their information in, and I think it was a very good process overall to get that money allocated as quickly as we could.
Well, I think to some of your points on some of the road improvement projects, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, you're talking Riley Township has a budget of $400,000.
Total, about 400,000 total.
And after you get done paying out, there might be $100,000 for the roads. ditching,
Right.
and those
What
types of
happens
things.
with, and I went to, because I go to a lot of township meetings. I was at Riley Township's meeting last Tuesday, and we had concern from one resident about the project that's going to take place with working with the neighbor city of Memphis. They're going to be paving Bell River Road from Boardman into Riley Township. And Riley has a lot more residents than Memphis does. And the resident kept asking, well, we shouldn't give Memphis any money. And I think it's great that you work with your partners when you can, because they are your neighbors. So try to work with them. And we do contract with them with the fire department also. But Riley residents use that road a lot more than Memphis does, because they only have 300 residents that live in St. Clair County. Of course, Riley has 3,000 residents. So they use the road, and I said, don't you think you have any responsibility or anything to do with the tearing up of that road? So anyways, he said that there were many people that are complaining about it. And, you know, my style, I said, you got my number, you have one person that talked to you, please have them call me, and I'll explain it to them. And if I don't have a call, nobody's talked to you. I haven't got one call.
Yeah. Okay, guess we're getting a little off topic, but roll call.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item V.
Mr. Chair, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Commissioner District 1 American Rescue Act project for Knokke Township for the park ADA bathroom and the septic tank installation in the amount of $104,962.25.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasco?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item K.
Before we move on, Jeff, one of my township supervisors is upset here. We didn't make an honorable mention, but Todd Molesworth's here from Knokke, and appreciate. I knew you're bashful. Todd, but Todd's here in support of that. He was very helpful in organizing what they did out there, and I had several phone calls with him, so thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Okay. Did we do?
W.
W.
W's next.
W. Oh, I'm sorry, did we do the roll call and everything on that? Okay, he threw me
Are you
off.
having a senior moment?
No, he threw me off when he,
Pardon me?
so item W.
At this time, I'd like to approve the Commissioner District 7 American Rescue Act plan for the project for the city of Algonac for renovating the old Algonac Elementary School in the amount of $200,000.
Support.
Discussion. So there is some additional funds for site readiness through the EDA. I think it's $350,000. They were looking at 6 or 7 different sites. There's potential to have a match on that, so there could be some additional funds to assist with this. Today, I was speaker at the Anchor Bay Chambers, I don't want to call it State of the
Community.
Yeah, Clay, Algonac, and Ira, and I did talk to one of the representatives from Senator Hertel. We did ask for an additional budget request in the state budget for up to $500,000 to assist with pretty demo site, those types of things. He had told me that they had put that request in and that they were working on it, so we will see. But that thing's been sitting, I think they said, for 7 years.
7, yeah.
Yeah, turned into an eyesore. Roll call.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item X.
This time I would move to approve the request to increase our waste management service contract for the Intervention Center by $117,312 for the term ending 9/30/26.
Support, Baldwin.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item Y.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve Commissioner District 7 American Rescue Plan project for the City of Marine City for replacement pump for their wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $150,000.
Support.
Discussion.
This will make my wife happy on her, our anniversary today. So we're going to talk about wastewater.
There you go.
Sexy.
Was romantic.
Sounds like pillow talk to me.
Oh, yeah. But she doesn't have to, once they put this in, they won't have to listen to that thing whine and all the neighbors, because it is loud.
Good. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Y. I'm sorry, Z.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve Addendum A with Valvoline, Inc. for vehicle repair and maintenance services, extending the term to 4/31/25 in an amount not to exceed $30,000. Support.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Item AA.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract extension with First Vehicle for vehicle repair and maintenance service through April 11th of '25 in the amount not to exceed $500,000.
Support.
Thank you.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandenbosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Samasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Baldwin?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Trello?
Yes.
Commissioner Chairperson Ball?
Yes. Administrators report.
We currently have, we have 5 RFPs out right now for several of the administrative ARPA projects. And that includes courthouse generator, upgrades at the EOC to the HVAC system and windows, and a renovation to the probation office. We also have an RFP out for our inmate medical contract. We have about 20 other RFPs that are in process that should be going out soon, and many of those are ARPA projects as well. The Health Department project is one of those. We expect that that RFP hopefully will be issued by the end of this month, and that we will have a recommendation to you on a contractor in June, so construction could start in July. About a month later than we anticipated, but certainly there's a lot to go through, especially with the mechanical and electrical and some of the requirements for the medical lab. So it's taking a little bit longer on the front end, but hopefully it will reduce change orders on the back end.
Can I ask you a question? When are they, when's DHS leaving?
They are scheduled to be out at the end of May. I did receive the letter from the state indicating that they do intend to be out the end of May. Initially, they were afraid that they wouldn't be able to, that they might want a couple months extension, but they will be out May 31st. For the most part, there's very few people over there. I believe the second floor is almost completely empty. They've kind of consolidated, so they've been very actively moving.
So it's not top secret anymore, but they're moving to the Eastern Michigan Bank Building, the Stifel, Nicholas, whatever, right at the south end of Port Huron, across from the Beverage Barrel. There's a building, big building right there. Atchison's actually owned that building at one time, and I think there was about 13,000 square feet of space. I actually got a tour of it, and it's really nice space. So that's where they're going to be relocating DHS. So we're going to at least keep those jobs down there in the city and stuff too, so.
Yeah, the county, we actually did look at that space as well as a potential location for the public defender's office. It's a really nice office space up there. On that note, the public defender's office is looking at different office space. The current space we're in is no longer suitable for us, and in working with the community foundation that owns the building that we're looking to transition. Right now, we're looking at the Chase Bank building, or the old Chase Bank building that was next to the courthouse. So the proximity will still be close to the courthouse. Working with our partners at the state and the MIDC on the funding piece of it. So we do believe that we may have a lease to you next month for your consideration.
That's a lease, Carrie?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you briefly tell me what is the problem with the space they have now? I've been over there. It's quite nice. I don't know.
Couple issues. The offices are cubicle style versus fixed offices. So when all the attorneys are in there, people on the phone, it can get quite noisy. And one of the MIDC requirements is confidential and private meeting space. And, also in consideration of, the events with the Children's Museum moving in on the first floor, that's also will be a noise consideration as well for during the day.
Thank you.
The elevator project at the courthouse, we have been working through an agreement for the gray elevator. I know I've updated you on that a few times. I don't believe that contract will be ready for May committee, but we may bring that to you to the May full board and skip committee if the board is agreeable to that, just to get that project moving.
That would be a contract not with Great Lakes Elevator?
That's correct. We will be proposing a contract with City Elevator. And and right now we are proposing purchasing the parts that were ordered from Great Lakes Elevator.
Yeah, we had that on the board before. Did that get straightened out? We're in the process of purchasing those parts from Great Lakes Elevator?
Yes, staff from City Elevator and our maintenance department went on site to where they are stored at Great Lakes. They inspected the parts, reviewed the parts list, and feel that they're the correct parts and will work for the elevators, so that will save time in reordering of those parts.
Are we getting any pushback from Great Lakes on the contract? I know they've basically blew it twice. I don't know if there's anything left of the contract, but they're going away quietly and not a problem.
So that contract had expired. We are working with them on the purchase of the parts because they did purchase them and pay for them, and the county has not paid for any part of the gray elevator repairs.
You keep the staff over there, the courthouse advised on that, the judges and all that, because they're interested if you get a time to email them.
Yes, absolutely. We are currently doing interviews this week for consultants for the IT assessment that I spoke about. I don't believe that we will be able to have a contract and recommendation ready for you for May, since that agenda deadline is tomorrow. But we will bring that forward to you.
You say
in June.
IT?
Yep, information technology assessment in our technology plan. You probably saw on your consent agenda a memo about trial court funding and the sunset of those bills. I've been hearing from Midwest Strategies, and they've been on top of those. The bills to extend that sunset did pass the House today, and then they will go to the Senate. And right now, it appears that the bills may pass prior to the sunset, is the information that they're hearing.
If it doesn't pass, what kind of a hit would that be? I looked at that. We couldn't assess costs on.
We collect approximately $1 million a year.
It's a big hit.
It's a big hit.
And that's it for this evening. Unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Carrie?
I had a question, Carrie. On the ARPA funds, we carved out some to set aside for the health department move. That's moving along, I know. Then there was some unallocated after that. Any idea on, because there's a window of, there's a sunset on that as well. We got to get that all taken care of. What's going on with that?
So once we get the bids back for the health department, then we'll know the construction costs. Certainly there's additional project costs that go into it. There may be some furniture, there's some items that may not be able to be moved, so there, and some different portions that are doing internally,
It's
so.
looking pretty good. I mean, as far as the cost, there's no surprises there maybe, or how's that? Any
We
idea?
have gotten estimates on portions, but not a full project cost, so we're still working through that. The mechanical and electrical is the big piece that we're waiting for.
And then the drop dead date on the balance of the ARPA funds, regardless of what we spend on the health department, when is that date?
They have to be committed by 12/31 of this year.
Okay.
We have some of the projects that I spoke of that are out to bid. The HVAC system for the EOC was already on a project list, but the windows were not, and the courthouse generator was not, so those will be some proposed ARPA projects. And we are also looking at some HVAC upgrades at the jail that would also be ARPA eligible. So we have quite a list of projects that could easily fill that gap once we get the health department number.
Thank you.
Motion and a second to receive and file the administrator's report.
Make a motion.
Accept the report.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item 14, no miscellaneous business. Item 15.
I'll make a motion to receive and file packets that were sent to Commissioner.
Jeff, I've got something on miscellaneous, if I
I'm
could.
sorry. Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be out in Grand Rapids when our RISA team was actually at state championship this year for the technical side. And I almost didn't go because it was busy at the greenhouses, but my son actually won state a gold medal. And I heard St. Clair County RISA a lot, which was, it was pretty heartwarming. Our kids did very well, especially for the size of what RISA is compared to Wayne County, Oakland, Macomb. Oakland's got 8 centers, and we competed very, very well with them. And I got to give a shout out to my son. So what he actually won it in, I'm still not really sure. It's precision metal something. So I'm not that good at that.
Trophy, though. That's
But
what's
he
important.
did. And if anybody can hear my wife scream on the videotape as she was taking it, it was definitely a cat getting its tail stepped on.
That's good. Good stuff. Receive and file.
Making a motion to receive and file packets.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Item 16, adjournment.
Support.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.